Greetings, YouTube. Greetings, my fellow Satanists. This is your Bat Pope speaking, and today I'd like to read a chapter from the Satanic Bible. I'm just going to read the chapter, The God You Save May Be Yourself, my homemade bookmark. I'm going to read the Satanic Bible out loud, one chapter, as part of my self-ordinance. All religions of a spiritual nature are inventions of man. He has created an entire system of gods with nothing more than his carnal brain. Just because he has an ego and cannot accept it, he has had to externalize it into a great spiritual device which he calls God. It into some spiritual oh wait, I already read that part. God can do all the things man is forbidden to do, such as kill people, perform rituals to gratify his will. Oh, sorry. Perform miracles. Sorry about that. I'll read that passage one more time. Sorry about that, everyone. God can do all the things man is forbidden to do, such as kill people, perform miracles to gratify his will, control without any apparent responsibility, etc. If man needs such a God and recognizes that God, then he is worshiping an entity that a human being has invented. Therefore, he is worshiping by proxy the man that invented God. Is it not more sensible to worship a God that he himself has created, in accordance with his own emotional needs? One that best in accordance with his own emotional needs. One that best represents the very carnal physical being that has the idea represents the very carnal or has sorry I read that part again. Sorry everyone, but I'll read it one more time. Represents the very carnal and physical being that he has the idea power to invent a God in the first place. If man insists on externalizing his true self in the form of God, then why fear his true self in fearing God? Why praise his true self in praising God? Why remain externalized from God in order to engage in ritual and religious ceremony in his name? Man needs ritual and dogma, but no law states that an externalized God is necessary in order to engage in ritual and ceremony performed in a God's name. Could it be that when he closes the gap between himself and his God, he sees the demon of pride creeping forth, that very embodiment of Lucifer appearing in his midst? He no longer can view himself in two parts, the carnal and the spiritual, but sees the merge as one. And then his abysmal horror discovers that they are only the carnal, and always were. He either hates himself to death day by day, or rejoices that he is what he is. If he hates himself and searches out new and more complex spiritual paths of enlightenment in hopes of that may split himself up again in the quest for stronger and more externalized gods to scourge his poor miserable shell. If he accepts himself but recognizes that ritual and ceremony are the important devices that is invented in religious that his invented religions have utilized to sustain his faith in a lie, then it is the same form of ritual that will sustain his faith in the truth. The primitive paganry that will give his awareness of his own majestic being added substance with all religious faith in lies has waned. It is because man has become closer to himself and farther from God, closer to the devil. If this is what the devil represents, and a man lives life in the devil's fame, he sinews of Satan, moving his flesh, then he either escapes from the cacklings and carpings of the righteous, or stands proudly in the secret place of the earth and manipulates fully ridden masses through his own satanic might, until that day when he may come forth in splendor proclaiming, I am a Satanist, bow down, for I am the highest embodiment of human life. Proof. This is proof that I am a Satanist now. I no longer believe in the moralistic dogmas of your so-called Christian societies, or the pain in the ass that people think that they can just control me and try to indoctrinate me in whatever the fuck they want me to be indoctrinated into. Why can't I believe in what I want? And Satanism is going to be that religion. Now, Satanism is going to be my religion. And if you guys do not like it, oh well. Life goes on. So if you truly believe that you need to be part of something different, that's up to you. But if you want to say, let's say for example, if you want to be a Christian, then be a Christian. If you want to be a Satanist, be a Satanist. If you want to be Wiccan, be a Wiccan. But be warned, I will not, and I repeat, will not return to the Christian religion unless I say so. Until then, I'm going to embrace my new religion as your Bat Pope and my own Bat Pope. This is something I want to be a part of now, and if people do not understand that I've chosen a much different path, then they should be kicked out of my life forever. And that includes family who don't understand, and friends who don't understand, and all they want to do is clash into me like this and try to shove their beliefs down my fucking throat. They are not allowed to fucking do that. And as Bat Pope, I have ordained myself. I'm not taking any satanic ranks, names, or titles that are not official towards any specific church. As Bat Pope, I can ordain myself or others if I ever can name a successor. Until that day, I am Bat Pope. I am the Bat Pope. People may not understand why I'm doing this or where I come from, but where I came from originally was from a Lutheran background. And to be honest with you guys, I never asked to be baptized as an infant. I understand my mom was trying to protect me and trying to keep me in whosever faith I was in, but that is not me anymore. That is not me. And I know that a lot of people may get upset about this video. They might hate the robe, they might hate what I represent, but I am representing a solo crusade. I'm not going to say what my true intentions are or what I'll be doing in the future, but as Bat Pope, I am going to attend YouTube either in this cowl and robe or the full Batman costume or any other cosplay character explaining what it is the hell I'm doing out here. I'm not going to explain it all the fucking time. But what I will explain is I am a Satanist. And you guys need to respect that and understand that, including my family that may be watching this. I know my family is watching this video, or will watch this video at some point. And this is what I have chosen. I don't understand why everybody's so terrifying about my religion. There's nothing. Hang on one second. People can be scared with this religion if they want to. They're not going to change me or try to convert me to whatever spiritual path they want me to be a part of because of what they want me to be. And I'm going to have to send another message to some of my family members. Sorry, the belt's falling off. I'm going to send a message to my family members that this is what I belong to. I don't want to go to a Christian church anymore. I don't want to get rebaptized. If I'm going to be baptized, it's going to be within the Church of Satan or the Satanic Temple. I don't care. I named myself the Bat Pope. I can also call myself Batman the Satanic Crusader in full Batman attire. But there's no need for feuding or trying to convert me to different religious paths. There's no need for violence. There's no need for that. Unless I choose to do a ritual or a spell or something like that. But other than that, I'm not going to talk about doing spells on here or confess or confuse myself doing rituals because that's not what the channel is for. This channel is a journal for me. And I've also chosen a much different path than the one my mother previously put me on. I mean, don't get me wrong, people. I still love my mother very much, but she needed to stop trying to change me into something I wasn't going to become in the fucking first place. Sorry, this belt keeps falling down. I don't want to keep the hood up because I don't want the bat ears to get ruined. So I'm not going to put the hood back on right now. However, there's still much work to be done. Not every people want to use a skull for their ritualistic altar, but this will be for decoration, of course. Also, when the eye lights are on, that means do not disturb me until the ritual is over. This will mean not to disturb me while the ritual is in progress. And that includes people that may enter or leave my house. It includes everybody. Sorry, a pop-up came up. Fellow citizens of America, Gotham City if you want to say that too, and to my fellow Satanists, don't ever let people try to change you or convert you or force you to take another path. Embrace who you are, embrace who you want to be, and embrace yourself and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and don't ever let anyone talk you out of this belief system. As a Satanist myself, I believe that I'm in control of my own life. I believe that I'm in full control of my destiny, my own universe. And I'm going to name myself, hang on a second, my computer's running low on battery. Please excuse me for one moment. I'm not done talking. As Bat Pope, I do have... One second. As Bat Pope, I do have specific responsibilities, duties, and obligations. I will not say what they are on YouTube because that's my personal business to know. It's kind of me being the Satanic Crusader is a lot like being a Satanic Mormon. I'll explain what that is in 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Let me explain. As Satanic Pope or a Satanic Bat Pope, I am supposed to do things, well, I guess you may call it supernatural crime fighting, I guess you want to call it that. But as a lone Satanic Crusader, there's some things I can't really discuss on here because of YouTube's algorithm. What I can tell you is that as Bat Pope, I will indulge in anything I want, but I cannot reveal what that is on this channel, and I'll give you an example why. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Joe Winko, but Joe Winko, in my personal theory, because he confessed to his destruction rituals and putting spells on people that probably should not have spells casted on them, I believe that somebody had retaliated and put a curse on him, and that what may have caused his suicide. So, sorry YouTube for using that word, but it's very possible that Joe Winko may have been cursed. And Even if I'm not doing any spells or rituals right now at the moment because of my living situation. Um, what I will say this though before I turn this camera off is that I am going to embrace my satanic path, destiny, and future. I'm going to embrace myself regardless if I join the Satanic Temple or the Church of Satan. Either way, even if I did join the Satanic Temple, I'm still going to read the Satanic Bible and practice the rituals that are described in the Satanic Bible that was written by Anton LaVey. I do believe that Satanic Temple may have different, maybe a little bit different, but I'm going to embrace whatever the hell I want and become whatever the hell I want. And this Bat Pope uniform is part of that. I can't necessarily tell people what exactly I plan on doing in the future when it comes to supernatural crime fighting. I'm not going to say what that is. But I guess if you have a picture in your head, I can't talk about it. You're probably wondering why use the term Satanic Mormon? Well, there's some things I can't really talk about on YouTube. Not just because YouTube is algorithm bit bad, but my way of seeking justice uses, well, I don't want to get into too much detail, but this is something I wanted to do for a very long time. And I'm not an actual Mormon, no. I am an avowed Satanist. The Satanic Mormon thing was just an example, or just a term that I was using to try to better describe what my position is, but I cannot talk about what that position is. I cannot talk about that on this camera, on this channel, on this laptop, in this building, in this room. It's nothing personal, my friends. It is nothing personal towards you, but I have to go down a path that fits me best. Pardon me, the belt keeps falling down. I didn't tie it all the way tied. I didn't tie it that tight at all, so it's gonna keep falling down regardless. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed me reading the Satanic Bible out to you. But before I go, there is something I do want to mention. There is something I do want to get my point out to. You're probably wondering, why do you have a copy of this in your lair? Well, let me tell you something. As Satanic Crusader, I kind of deem certain religious organizations not so friendly. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do or what I plan to do because I'm not going to actually talk about that on here. There is no plan to cause violence, or there is no plan to harm others or myself. There is no plan for that. But I do believe that if you want to become a crusader yourself or a satanic crusader, here's my personal, I guess, beliefs. And this is, by the way, this is not encourageable for other people to do. I don't encourage this. But I do believe that this is not only false, but this has held people down for years. They've forced people to give up money, property, and back in the early 1800s, they had their own militia who committed tons of atrocities. And it is my belief as not a former Christian, I'm not a Mormon either, but they want me to become a Mormon. My advice for some people who want to better the world is to, I guess, infiltrate these false churches and see what you can do about, I don't want to use the word spells or vigilante justice, but if you know what I'm trying to say something that isn't giving out too much detail, but I'm screwing that up. my personal beliefs is to infiltrate these false churches and crush them from the inside out. But I will not encourage that, not to myself or anybody else. This is just my personal opinion. My personal opinion would be to infiltrate, let's say, for example, a Mormon temple, a church, writing down names of the leaders, and then do what you wish with that person. But again, this is not going to be encouraged for anyone. I don't encourage this upon myself or anybody else. This is just my opinion here. I mean, I've had thoughts. I have had thoughts. But those thoughts are not going to be put into action. No, those will not be put into action. But I do personally believe that by the Bat Pope commanding either the forces of darkness or I guess we want to use the word vigilante group to not harm, but infiltrate these false groups and churches to destroy them from the inside out. Again, this is only my opinion. I'm not telling you guys to go out and do this. I'm not telling you to do that. But in my personal opinion, I believe that somebody should stand up. Again, I'm not encouraging you. Don't do it. Do not do this what I'm saying out loud. I'm just expressing how I feel. I believe that somebody out there should don a cape and cow by night, and let's pretend, for example, infiltrate the Mormon church and then destroy them from the inside out, whether using vigilante justice, physical violence, or spells, hexes, or curses upon the religious leaders of that organization. Because we are living in a time where false religions are not becoming the norm anymore. So a lot of people are getting their brains all mixed up and brainwashed by organizations that have produced books similar to this and other false religious propaganda to stir things up in the world. But I'm not telling you guys to go out and do anything harmful, whether it be through spells, vigilante justice, or physical violence, whatever you want to call it. I'm not telling you to go out and do this. But as Satanic Crusader, I feel differently about that. I want to be a peaceful man. I don't want to do violence or cast spells or curses on others. I will not do that. This is not a video manifesto of my idea of Satanism. My idea of Satanism is freedom, liberty, and individualism. Again, there is no plan to harm others or myself or harming these other religious organizations. But I believe that there will come a time where this will be a true thing for some religious folk. I don't have any evidence of this, but from what I've seen on the internet and other social media sources, that people are attacking priests, churches, vandalizing churches, destroying altars of a Christian nature, well, anti-Christian. And I'm kind of okay with that, because Christianity has gotten even far more strict than ever before. Christianity has gotten a lot more fucking strict over the years. Now they said you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. Same thing with the Mormon church over here. Well, Mormon propaganda. They're saying you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. I don't want to embrace abstinence. I want to embrace indulgence. But indulging in vigilante justice is not something I encourage in others. I don't even encourage others to smoke cigarettes. Even though my family smokes, but I don't personally want to smoke myself. But that's just one of the examples I'm coming up with for you right now. There is no reason to cause harm to other religious organizations unless you feel it is the right thing to do. But if you do, don't do anything physical. If you are into voodooism and you infiltrate a rival or false religious organization, you should feel obligated to casting a voodoo curse on the leader of that organization if that leader is not a good leader or is a bad leader or evil leader. And I'm not talking about just the Mormon Church. This goes out for every single organization. If the religious leader is sketchy, bad, or you suspect them of evil, and you're into voodooism or paganism or whatever witchcraft you may perform either a hex or a curse on that religious leader. But make sure that you investigate them properly before you cast your curse or spell. And again, I'm not encouraging anybody else to do this. I'm just talking out from the heart. I'm not encouraging anyone to do anything like this. Don't actually do it unless you choose to. But the way I feel certain organizations that prey on people's money, beliefs, or desires, and use that against them, I consider that religious treason. I mean, take a look at this, for example. They brainwash people. They get people indoctrinated into a system that they don't fully understand. They will lie. They will trick you, take your money, and force you to do things you don't want to do. If you see this in this world, fight that organization. Again, I'm not trying to fully encourage anyone. Unless you leave the organization, that's okay too. My advice is just leave the organization, but if they are truly dark and sinister in an evil way, I say fight them, either with physical violence or spells and curses. But I'm not saying go out and do this. I'm not telling you that. But how I personally feel about certain organizations, they should be brought to justice and they should be properly investigated by high law enforcement authorities and people who are in power, such as governors, mayors, presidents, and other government leaders who choose to look the other way, or may I say, turn the other cheek, but don't turn the other cheek. If these people prey on your innocence, and if they try to get into your pants, or get into your bank account, or get into your money, or get into anything that you have that they want, fight them. Fight them with your life. I'm not saying go out and do anything. I'm just saying if they try to brainwash you, either run or walk away, and if they keep trying to be persistent, tell them to get the fuck away from you, or you're gonna beat them senseless. Again, I am not trying to encourage people to do vigilantism on evil religious organizations or evil organizations in general or groups or whatever, but that's just how I feel. I'm just talking because I haven't talked to my therapist in weeks, but this is how I feel about certain things, that if you're going to be a Satan, is do not get encouraged by this whole vigilante system. I can't talk about what I'm planning on doing or what I want to do, and I'm not going to confess on YouTube, and I'm not going to videotape my rituals, whether it be lust, destruction, or compassion. I'm not videotaping myself doing any spells or curses or any kind of magical ritual. because that's not what I want on my channel. Maybe a black mass, but not a personal spell or ritual that I'll be casting. I'm not videotaping that. This robe, to be honest, is not for those rituals. This robe is supposed to signify as Bat Pope of the Satanic Bat Temple. Not the Satanic Temple, the Bat Temple, excuse me. As my duty as the Bat Pope, my decisions, quests, or should I say crusade, shall not be spoken of on this channel. But what I can talk about is maybe I'll do some neighborhood watch stuff in a full body superhero costume or stuff like that. But my true position, what I do with this position, I cannot reveal on YouTube at all. I cannot reveal that. Maybe you've gotten one or two hints, but that's all I'm giving you. And to be honest, some of these organizations need to fucking leave anyway. They're too corrupt. And they prey on people who are not very well educated, or they prey on those who are gullible to their false messages. Do not become a victim to that. Just keep telling them no until they go away. So that's what I rather encourage you to say no. But if they keep persisting to be in your life, either to convert you or to recruit you into something that you don't want to be recruited into, either say no, walk away, or fight back. That's all I'm saying. Also, YouTube, please forgive me if I got a little bit morbid in this video. I don't mean to be so morbid. This just is how I feel. And to be honest, I hope that in the future people won't be so hostile, and Christians and Satanists can one day come together as not allies but friends, and we should all be treated equally in this very country. I believe that we should all get together, not join each other's religions, but instead of joining that person's religion, instead of joining another religion, we should be treating everybody equally, and not trying to be converting others to their beliefs or shoving beliefs down people's throats. I don't want to encourage that either, but I believe that we should accept everyone of whatever culture or religion they're a part of. I have friends that are pagans and they understand that I'm a Satanist. But I've ran into people that were Christian and trying to convert me to their religion because they didn't like what I was a part of, so I pushed them out of my life. I got rid of them. I've also met people that were Christian that did accept me for who I was. But I'm just saying, if you're a Christian and you come into my path or come into my life, if you try to convert me back to Christianity, that friendship will be over. The friendship will end right then and there, and I'll never speak to you ever again. I'm just warning everybody here. That goes to new people in my life, new friends, possibly new families, new girlfriends, whatever the case may be. If you try to convert me to your beliefs because you don't like my beliefs, I'm cutting you out of my life completely. You guys need to accept people for who they are, and not shove your goddamn beliefs down people's throats. Why can't we all coexist together? This is what the video is all about. I want us all to coexist. And as Bat Pope, I'm no Catholic pontiff. I'm not in the Catholic papacy. The Bat Pope is my title and my title only. Unless I name a successor, I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm just saying. Just saying, for example, what? I wanted to get some stuff off my chest, too. Please let us coexist in this world. Stop trying to destroy us. Stop trying to convert us. Stop trying to change us. Satanism as said by Anton Szandor LaVey, Satanism is here to fucking stay. We're not going anywhere. So unless we all try to coexist, and I will gladly try to lead this world into a global peace if I have to. If we cannot have global peace, then we're not definitely going to coexist either. We need to coexist as a whole body and not separate, like how people say, no, there's no I in team. We're not just a team. We should coexist together instead of trying to start feuds or religious wars on, regardless of what you may believe in. We just want to coexist. That includes the Satanic Temple and the Church of Satan. We all want to coexist. We don't like all humans. We should not love everybody. But let us coexist. Let us coexist. I don't think it's that much to ask, is it? I hope that some of you will accept me for who I am, regardless of the mask, or the robe, or the costumes, or whatever you may see on this channel. I hope we can all coexist and not try to shove religious beliefs down other people's throats. I have to go now because I have other duties and obligations I have to take care of at the moment, but I'll let you guys know in the future what happens next. But if I can't talk about it, I won't talk about it. And please, please, please do not actually enact vigilante justice on rival religious organizations unless they try to hurt you or attack you. If they try anything funny, walk away. But if they stop you from walking away, then you punch them in the fucking nose. Now then, I have to go now because I have other obligations I got to take care of as Bad Pope. So I'll talk to you all later.